Ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. Hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. I'ma rep my city and salute my town. Said ain't no way, ain't no how. I'ma let somebody come and shut me down. I'ma hold my own, I'ma stand my ground. And I'm ready for whatever, and I still stand proud. Ain't no.
Well, Bear, I'm a hugger. You're a hugger. Do we know anybody else? I know Clayton's a hugger.
Big time hugger.
What else? What else? Ding dong, ding dong. Let's go, ding dong. Here we go. I'm sure everybody knows exactly who I'm talking about. And if you don't already, I'm talking about the one, the only Bayley. Bayley is a hugger. She's always at your door with the thumbs down, and she's one of the best. I could say that without any hesitation. And a certain co-host of ours absolutely loves Bayley. Shout out to you, Clayton. We know you're watching this video. But Bayley has just hit her 10 years since debuting in the WWE. 10 years ago, she debuted in NXT. And she probably looked better back then than she does right now.
I would argue no, but hey.
Hey, I'm going to say that in a storyline sense, okay?
Okay.
But yeah, Bayley, we're going to take a deep dive into Bayley. This is the B&B show. As always, that's Bear. I'm the Blade. Thank you for tuning in. Bayley, okay, I'm just going to start from the top. I was a big fan of Bayley. I like heel Bayley more than face Bayley. I'm just going to say that right now, due to the fact that she's such a good heel. She's like MJF. She gets involved with the fans. I like that because that's how you know you want to be a heel. She goes out there, she takes kids' signs, she rips them, she puts their thumbs down in kids' faces. You know, she tells people to shut up, stuff like that. It's like it's actually getting into the role. But like I said, back then during her NXT storyline, I think she was in a better storyline wise standpoint than she is now. Damage control just is damage control is good. Bayley's not good with them. That's what I'm gonna say right now. That's the way I'm gonna start this off. So something's gotta happen. And to start it from the top, Bayley returned at SummerSlam, and then Dakota Kai, and then Io Sky. Or reverse, whatever. The point is, they all three returned during the Bianca Belair match, and you're like, oh, wow, they're back. And it's just kind of gone, it's just kind of gone down. And they've had, man, the last time we saw all three of them in the ring, I believe was Clash at the Castle. And ever since then, nothing. There is a match scheduled for in a week and a half at WrestleMania, where they're all three going to finally be in the ring. But it's like Bayley needs to do more on her own. I'm just kind of throwing little pinpoints in there and from every direction because there's a lot to talk about with this subject. But the main point of this, in my opinion, is Bayley needs to be by herself. Damage Control needs to say as Damage Control, aka Dakota Kai and Io Sky. And because they're great. They are. No hate on them. They're great wrestlers. They're great in the ring. They can do well. They're great heels. It's just with Bayley, it's not working out. So what do you think?
So let me take it from a different perspective. We're going to start at SummerSlam with the return.
Yep.
I thought it was great. It was well executed. It put a lot of foreshadowing to the group. And I think, especially at that time, it was definitely needed. And what I think happened is they burnt the storyline out before it was ready to get to the climax, meaning that you can't have Bayley continuously lose to Bianca And at the time, it was what Bianca and Asuka and oh my God, I can't.
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa, excuse me. Yeah. So then they burnt it out. Then they quickly made Bayley not credible. You can't continuously lose and say you're going to take over and lose every time.
Now, before you go ahead anymore, I'm going to stop because I have to say something about that point. So when they kept doing the whole Damage CTRL versus Bliss, Asuka, and Belair, not only was it destroying, Bayley and the Damage CTRL, but it was killing Asuka. I felt like it was killing Bianca Belair, and I felt like it was killing Alexa Bliss. And the reason being is Asuka started coming out with her little stupid dance stuff that I absolutely hate. And then she starts losing every week. You're telling me a 930 whatever day reign she had, all of a sudden she loses every single Monday Night Raw? Wrong. You can't do that. That's a big no-no. Don't do that. Why would you destroy her like that? Bianca Belair has been an exceptional champion. One of the best women's champions ever. Some argue that she is the greatest champion, honestly, because of everything she's done. But that storyline was her worst point in her entire run. It's terrible. And
it was even worse than her losing to Becky.
Oh,
that's how bad it was.
Exactly. And the reason is because it was so, like you said, so drawn out. It's like she comes out one week, she gets beat up by Bayley and Damage CTRL. Asuka and Alexa Bliss come in to help her. The next week, Asuka, Alexa, and then Bianca come out first, do a promo. Then Damage CTRL comes out and beat them up. And it just flip-flops every week. And then they're like, all right, well, the main event tonight is going to be Asuka and Alexa Bliss versus Damage CTRL for the titles. And they win the titles, then they lose it. Then they win, then they lose it. Then they win, and they lose it. And then they go on a streak of having it, and then they lose it again. And it definitely showed that during, well, I could say it still is, but during that time, they needed more women on the Raw's women's roster on Monday nights, because that was almost their full Monday Night Raw. It may have been at the time their full women's roster all in one feud. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Well, I will say this. Even if you do that, you can do better things. Like, there were times where Bianca beat all three of them by herself.
Yeah.
That should never, hear me clearly, never happen. You never have one opponent beat the hell out of a group. It demeans the group. It makes the champion looks unbeatable.
Yep.
And just like, okay, so I'm even going to skip that. After all that crap went on, then it went to Bayley and the man, Becky. Becky continuously, not once, continuously beat all three. So if the two top women can do that, then what is a point for them being a group?
And the problem is, and this goes back to what you said about the story was burnt out before it even really got started, honestly. And the reason is they won. And this is crazy because I'm now really thinking about this. The last time they were all three in a ring fighting together, like an actual official 3-on-3 match, was Clash at the Castle. That was also the last time they've really won anything.
I hate to interrupt you, but they didn't win. How did they win?
That's true.
And that's the thing. You're going to have, that's just like saying you take the NWO and they keep getting beat all the time by one individual.
Yep.
It makes no sense.
Exactly. And that was the last time they were all three as a group in the ring. That by itself doesn't make sense. So we'll scratch that off the checklist of not making sense. Why is it they've been in the ring together one time, and the second time will be at now WrestleMania, and the last time was in September. So go ahead and scratch that off the list. They constantly, the one time they won, obviously, was that time. And then after that, yes, Damage CTRL, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky won the titles, but then they lost it again, and then they won it again, and then they most recently lost it again. And then Bayley continued to lose to Bianca Belair over and over and over, and then she continued to lose to Becky Lynch. So I'm just a little confused.
Why do I want to listen to you? You can't win nothing.
Exactly, and it's oh man,
that's just like me and you a group, and every time I say, "Look, we're gonna do this," and you looking at me for leadership, and every time you turn around, I'm getting beat down. Eventually, you're gonna be like, "Hey, Bear, man, I could get beat down on my own. Let me go win." You obviously you're the weak point of the group. I'm gonna go get with somebody who can do something.
Yeah, and it's just like Bayley is such a good women's wrestler. I mean, like I said, she is one of the best. That will always be a thing. And she is a really great heel. But when you lose that much, they don't boo you because you're a heel when you come out. They boo you because they don't want to see you. They want to see somebody else wrestle. They boo you because they want to see somebody else wrestle. That's and then that's just it's like what you're saying. Let's say me and you are a tag team. We go out there and let's say we get beat every week. Then we go to a pay-per-view. We get beat at the pay-per-view. We go to the next pay-per-view. We get beat at the pay-per-view. WrestleMania comes up. Me and you go out there. We say, this is our house. We're going to the WrestleMania to win those titles. Those people in that crowd are going to look at us like, what in the hell are you talking about, man? You lost. What?
And then if we win, they'll be like, bullshit.
Yeah. They're going to say, what'd you do? Did you pay the ref? What'd you do?
It's like, no, I'm not buying this. I don't. Look, you won the titles. You ain't going to hold them for. Oh, when y'all defend them, y'all gonna lose them. And if you don't, I'm mad because y'all obviously are not entertaining us.
And the thing is, and I look, we say this every episode. We're gonna keep saying it. We're not hating on the superstars' ability to wrestle. They're all great wrestlers. We're hating on the fact that creative has put them in these storylines, and the storylines are boring. That's just the way it is. The wrestlers themselves are not boring. Every single one of these wrestlers involved.
Love Io Sky. Love her.
Io Sky is one of the best Japanese wrestlers of all time. Dakota Kai, from getting released to now, it seriously looked like she has been training over and over and over. I
love the way she comes out. She just has a little swagger to her. Exactly. I love it. Exactly. Bayley is a boss.
And see the other three, Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss, I don't even feel like we have to touch those because everybody knows about them.
Exactly.
And so, but this is what I'm getting the point at. I was at the Monday Night Raw in Dallas, Texas on Halloween. That was the night where the main event was Damage CTRL, only Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Asuka and Alexa Bliss for the titles. That was the night Asuka and Alexa Bliss actually won them back. And I was there, okay? When they came out, because they came out at the beginning of the show, I was like, all right, I know where this is going. And then obviously it went where I thought. And then they said, all right, we're going to have a match later tonight for the titles. Okay, sure. I could see that happening too. The whole time I was sitting there, I like I said, I hate to say this, I wasn't involved in the match. I wasn't hyped. Because it's like, I've seen this so many times already. It's just like, whatever, this is another match. So I was sitting there kind of just like, all right, oh, that's a great move. Okay. All right. And when Alexa Bliss and Asuka, pinned them and won, I was like, okay, they won them. That's different because I thought Damage CTRL was going to win. So I got pretty excited. I was like, wow, they won, that's great. And then they lost them again, the next couple of weeks, and then
No, it wasn't even a couple of weeks. Matter of fact, it was right before they went to Saudi.
gosh, exactly. And it's just like, when I'm not involved in a match like that, with how deep we get into wrestling like this, that's not good. And it's the fact that it's something that we've seen multiple times, and it's like that piece of paper. It's like a piece of paper. You take it, you crumble up, you throw it in the garbage can. You're like, hey, I forgot what I wrote down. You take it out of the garbage can. You open it back up, read it again. All right, sweet. You throw it away, and you're like, oh, I forgot what I wrote down. You keep going. You keep getting it out of the garbage can because you keep forgetting what you write down, and you keep doing the same thing. You keep throwing it away. You keep pulling it back out. Throwing it away, pulling it back out. End it, please. It doesn't need going on anymore. And there's only one way to end it. It's not with those three taking on a different three women. It's not with those three moving to SmackDown. It's not any of that. None of that can fix it anymore. It's one way. Bayley leaving Damage Control. And we could tell you how it could work. We could tell you what we hope will happen. So if you're watching this after WrestleMania, we may be right, we may be wrong. Okay, so this is recorded before WrestleMania. Okay, let's just put that out there. Now if I got this right, go ahead and drop a nice little comment saying good job, and do I don't know, do something, subscribe, something like that. But you got so far, Bear, what do we got for WrestleMania? It's Damage Control versus Becky, Trish, and then Lita.
Yep.
Who are the tag team champions? Who beat Damage Control for the tag titles? Anyway, so it's gonna be those three wrestling together again, finally, since I don't know how long. They're actually fighting as a group. Wow, crazy. And you could have it. This basically, WrestleMania is the perfect time to do it. Dakota Kai and Io Sky, no matter what, after WrestleMania, don't need to be going after tag titles right now anymore. They don't need to be. I feel you need to wait a long time before they need to. Somebody else needs to beat Becky Lynch and Lita for the tag titles. Rumors are Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey at Backlash. We don't know yet, but it definitely doesn't need to be Dakota Kai and Io Sky. So basically at WrestleMania, obviously the legends are going to win. Lita and Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch. And because it's WrestleMania, you're not going to have a heel team who constantly loses to all of a sudden win against a huge babyface legends team. It's not going to happen because it's WrestleMania, it's two Hall of Famers, and it's a team that hasn't been winning at all in the past. So that's not going to happen. So here's a way to get out of it. Dakota Kai, Io Sky, they're fighting. They lose some way, shape, or form. Bayley gets mad at them, basically slaps one of them, or the other one slaps. A fight ensues. Dakota Kai, Io Sky turn on Bayley. Bayley turns on them. One or the other, they get mad at each other. Basically, in the end, they end up getting mad at each other for the way the match ends. One of them slaps the other. Dakota Kai, Io Sky stay as Damage Control. Bayley goes off and does her own thing. It's a simple way to break it up. A simple, classic wrestling way. Break up a tag team by getting mad at each other. There you go. Why not? And it should just let it happen. I mean,
so we're going to go a little different.
Okay.
We're going to go not classic. We're going to do something that you didn't see coming. At WrestleMania, we're going to let Damage Control win. We're going to have a turn by Trish. Trish is going to turn. Her and Bayley has been in cahoots this whole time. Io and didn't know, had no idea, but they with it. Then you start seeing Bayley and Trish hang out more, and they leave Io. And I don't know why I get blanks on people's name. I apologize. So they start leaving them out, and then all of a sudden they turn on them. Why? Because they want the tag titles.
Okay.
Now that'll be a good face turn for Io and Dakota.
Yep.
That'll give more heat to Bayley and actually give her some wins she desperately needs. And that will make more people upset with Trish from turning heel. Plus, with all that being said, it freshens your storyline. It gives down the road for the man and Trish a one-on-one. So you have different things, but the key factor is Bayley. Like you said, we're taping this before WrestleMania. Bayley lost to Mommy. Why? Why were they fighting? It made no sense. Both of them are heel. She should have never had to fight Bayley. And again, as I said before, you got a 3-man crew. How are you losing with a 3-man crew to one person? That's just like Edge taking on the Judgment Day. There is no reason why he should beat the Judgment Day when you're outnumbered. Either that superstar is just better or the group is stupid. Take your pick.
Well, there you go. I like that idea because in the end, either way, it separates Bayley from the group. Either way, we do think that Bayley should be separated. Like we said, this is taped before WrestleMania. So when you're watching this, she could be separated or she could still be with Damage CTRL. Either way.
Just do something with her.
Yeah, that's true. But we do appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you go watch our other episodes as well. And make sure you do watch our future episodes that do come out every Monday. And also make sure you do subscribe to this YouTube channel, like, comment to tell us what else you want to hear. Because we'll talk about really anything, everything, past, present, future, any promotion, you name it, we got it. Either way, though, we appreciate you tuning in and we'll see you next time.
I came from the UK. I can't and won't be stopped.
Come on, there you go. Get out there. Get out there. Get out!
And I will never give you a contract.
I tell you what, if you're going to start off, you want to start off with one of the big guys. And to prove yourself, you want to knock them out.
This is the Wrestling Society Network.